Hello, everybody, and welcome to week 31's week in review here on my channel of things that I drew this week in my series of teaching myself how to draw. First of all, as usual, I'd like to look at the figures I drew this week, and as usual, of course, there's I don't know, there's nothing to say. I have been kind of annoyed. This is like a constant issue of drawing too faint, you know? Like these are really light. You know, I'll do like the under sketch really light, but I often forget to do darker lines on top. You know, just something here and there like this. I feel like I might have mentioned this last week, but I like these little dinosaur arms. That's one thing that I want to keep reminding myself to do, you know? Because it's hard to tell what's going on in some of these when they're so faint. All I need is just like a little dark line for this shoulder, you know? And like stuff like this where there's overlap, like this line in front of this line. It's helpful to do them darker, like where the breast is there, or like how this leg is in front of this, you know? I need to do darker lines in those situations because it really helps with the depth, you know? Anyway, like I said, there's not really anything jumping out at me. There is something I sort of realized today, partway through figures, which we'll get to. This pose is funny. I'll get to that once we get to today's poses today. Although I did the I haven't done it in weeks, hey, in months maybe even. The practice where at the end of a day I'll like pick one of these poses to do a color rough with. I did that again this week. Just for 3 days, I think, maybe 4. But so when we get to those, I'll take a look back at the pose that I utilized for the part 2 sketch. See how it's really hard to tell what's going on here because all these lines are like the same. You know, just make a little dark edges where there's like overlaps. I think that's all I really need to do. It'll just help clarify things a little better. Help me get a sense of what's in front of what. You know, like this, how this line runs up and is in front of this line here. Same with down here. That's all you need, just a little bit, and it really gives you the sense of volume to this kind of central part, right? I need to do better at that. Remind myself, you know. Keep doing that. These are all really nice though. As always, I'm really happy with these. This one was fun. And this one. I think this day it honestly turned out really good. All of these look really good, if you ask me, and I'm remembering to do them dark, you know. Lots of good like structure to these, you know. Like this one is really sturdy with these legs planted on the ground, you know. Very cool. This one too, the teeter-totter seesaw pose. And then this one was yesterday. Pretty good. Again, like, you know, I've been kind of reminding myself lately to draw darker, and it just looks more clean, you know. Especially with these 5-minute ones, you know. This stuff. Can't really even see that guy, hey? A little small. It just looks so much more appealing, especially when I'm looking back at these. Stuff like this where it's okay when I'm drawing through, because there's a lot of stuff on the other side that I'm kind of drawing in here. That's why these lines being faint is okay. I'd still like to have these outer lines be a little darker though, right? It's just for clarity. Anyway, what I kind of realized today is, let's find a good example, maybe this one. I was trying to think of like almost like the front corners of the pelvis and how they are located. So this, I drew like 2 lines like this. I don't know if you can even see the other line. You know, kind of like maybe from the shoulders or like kind of around here, a little in. Almost like a contour line down. Like I think I did them here too. Oh, it's twisted like that. Almost like a giant rectangle. Like if we can get like a straightforward guy like this sort of thing. A giant rectangle just going down like this. To try and find like the front corners of the pelvis. This sort of thing, you know? Just to help me find the angle of the pelvis a little better, and I think it helped. This is my first day doing that sort of thing, you know? Here. You know, like those bones that poke out. Maybe they're more like over here, I don't really know. Same with here. But you could see me like doing it all the time in today's. I got the idea looking at the Discord. Some other people doing pose practice. I think it really helped with this one though. It helped me find the kind of angle back. The way this pelvis is kind of sent back a little bit. It helped me find that. So I'll be working on utilizing that a little more, probably going forward. I don't know. We'll see. But it's because I've been struggling with the pelvis. You know, I did that 100 leg challenge. Was it last week? And it really taught me how little I understand about the pelvis itself. So I'm trying to think of better ways to draw the pelvis. So that's kind of what drew me to that, and I think it turned out good. You know, that combined with like this kind of flat edge that I learned while doing this side of the pelvis is very flat, kind of running down the leg. I learned that doing the 100 leg challenge thing that I did. So I've got a number of things in my mind. That's the point. Anyway, let's look at what I drew this week. Da-dum! Da-dum! This is the first color rough I did. This was on the 12th. So like I said, I used, which pose was it? Maybe it was this one. I used this as a base and then turned it into this. The fun thing I had with this was this bag was really hard. I had to redraw it, I think 3 or 4 times. But I eventually got it to the point where it made sense that it was kind of hanging down from being held, but also kind of being suspended a little this way by this leg, right? Being kind of like twisted. Like you could think of the leg being here. Like if the bag wants to hang straight down, it's being like pushed to the side a little. It was really fun thinking about how that would look. It was hard too. Like I said, I had to redraw it a bunch. I just did very simple clothing, but this skirt actually came together really quick and easy, which is nice because it's been a while since I drew a skirt. So this one was pretty fun. I like the hair too. This stuff is a little odd, but I'm getting there with the hair, you know? I'm slowly getting better at it. It's still probably the hardest thing for me to do. So that was that. Next day I did another one. This one was really fun. I don't know what happened, but I got this cool idea. Which pose was this? I don't even remember. I think I changed this one quite a bit. What one did I even use for this? Oh, this one here. So this one was kind of a test in composition. Like I had the idea to do this pose, and then I kind of had the idea of like the sort of the style of the character. I wanted to have like a jacket thrown over like this, but then this spot was really empty. So I was like, what do I do up here, you know? And somebody in the chat, I can't remember who, suggested putting a monkey on her back, and I was like, a monkey? You know, that might be interesting, but I don't really know how to draw a monkey. And I was also thinking about what to do with the head, and eventually I decided to do like a hat, like some sort of a helmet or whatever. And the more I went along, you know, I was thinking of this character as kind of like a biker or something. So I would like to have like a bike in the background if I had more time, like a motorcycle, you know, like this. This is what motorcycles look like, by the way. They look just like that. And then I thought it would be kind of a cute juxtaposition of like a kind of like a badass biker to have a cute little dog, you know, with like the spiked collar. So that was the idea. The dog's name is Princess. So if I were to like finish this one, I would have a bike in the background, and then on the wall, like a brick wall background, spray painted behind, I would write Princess. Kind of like this. So that's the story behind this one. It was really fun. I wish I kind of detailed the pants a little more. They were pretty flat, eh? But they were fun. These shoes were fun too. They were kind of ugly, but whatever, you know? It's just all in all pretty fun. I think the face turned out good. And like the hair. Again, like I've been thinking about hair, you know? This dog was hard. There was a period of time where this dog looked like an evil monster. I'm glad it turned out okay. And doing these spikes on the helmet was pretty hard too. All in all, this one was really fun though. So yeah, that's the story of that one. Didom. Next up. Didom. Oh, there's no background to this one, hey? This is some more fan art of Hololive. Which pose did I do for this one? I think it was one of these. Yeah, it was this one, right? This pose here. So I had drawn all the other new members of Hololive, I haven't drawn Shiori yet, which is this is who this is. This is Shiori Novella from Hololive. That I don't know. I can't remember who suggested it. I can always forget who suggests stuff in the chat, but I didn't know what to do with this pose. And then I got the suggestion, I think it was maybe from Cosmic, to do a goth girl. And I was like, goth girl? I didn't have like a good image in my mind of what a goth girl would look like, but thankfully, the one remaining new Hololive girl that I haven't drawn yet is a goth girl, so I thought I would draw her. So I looked at a bunch of her reference of her like character sheets and stuff. She has this cool effect where there's like almost like this inky, kind of like ink dripping off of her skirt. I thought that was really cool, so I thought I would do something with that. Kind of down there. Her boots are really cool too, and her color scheme in general. And the scissors, of course. But I thought her design really lended itself to this pose. So that's kind of the thought process behind it. There's not really anything more than that. I just thought I would draw her. So I'll probably be finishing this up. I honestly don't really know how I want to continue with this one. But this is what I plan to do next week. So starting tomorrow is, since I've done like a full drawing of all the other new Hololive girls, Hololive English at least, I'll draw her as well. I'll finish her up. That'll be this week. This one was really fun though. I think it turned out really good. Ta-dam! Next is, I thought I would do something for the prompt this week, which of course I don't have it ready. Hang on, cut. So I drew this for this week's prompt, which is, ta-dam, this is the pose and the word for this week. Did I spell this correct? Yeah, right? This was the figure that I ended up doing, and thinking of the word weightless and kind of looking at the pose, the first thing I thought of was somebody floating in the water, kind of like this, but I didn't know what to do with it. I was thinking about it before I started this. I was thinking of doing it lying in the ocean and having like a really deep ocean below with like whales in the distance and stuff. Maybe like a city like Atlantis or something way down there. That was like too much. It was just a little too much. So I decided not to do that. This is day one. I worked on this for 3 days. Let's look at day two. The idea I had was I needed to redo the face, so I did that. I had it in a pool instead. So you could see I kind of laid the things out, and on this day. And then on day two, I just kind of flattened out all the colors, did all like the base colors and then the line art. I had a lot of fun doing this wiggly, wavy stuff with the water, you know, with the ripples. I wanted the water to feel clean and like clear, right? So that you could see all these fish and this manta ray guy really cleanly. But the idea I had for this was to have like the swimsuit and the figure kind of reflected by this manta ray guy. That's why they're the same color. I don't really know why. I don't know, just kind of compositionally I thought it was cool. And then the other thing was layers. So there's like the floor of the pool, and then there's this guy, right? And then there's the fish kind of in between. So we'll look at the final version here, right? Fish in between, casting shadows, you know. They're getting shadows cast on them by the figure, which is on the surface. And you've got like these petals. I think I might have overdone it with these foreground petals a little bit. But this is the full version here, the final version. Zoom in a little. I also added a bit of like color, it's hard to notice, color noise everywhere, but I sort of removed it on the legs and like the skin. I removed the color aspect of it. I might have missed some spots here and there, but you could see it on like here and like in the water. So yeah, it makes the fish look a little cooler if you ask me. Like they have kind of scales. Just looks cool. I like a little bit of noise, you know? It's a cool effect. So this one was a lot of fun. I feel like you know, on day one I had it basically laid out, and I took it too far, I think, on day one. Because usually what happens if I do something like this, if I do too much detail on day one, I kind of lose interest. So I kind of had to regain my interest in this one. over the... I couldn't figure out how to do these ripples, hey? I just did them with like an overlay. It's fine. But I had to regain interest. I don't really know what that means, but whatever, you know? All in all, I'm pretty happy with this one. It's pretty fun. The face turned out good. I had to redraw it. So yeah, that's my my week in review there. And do I have anything else to say? I guess not, hey? I'll be back next week with another week in review. I guess I've already given a preview of what I'm going to work on, hey? I'll be finishing this up this week, so this coming week. So yeah, tune in next week to see how I did. Thanks for watching, everybody. Cut!